Yes, and I'm going to need your hand and a sharp object because we are signing a blood oath right now.
Brunch!
Hit it, boys! Let's start with this because we would have forgotten about it. The Iris cover.
The Iris cover, that's right. I did forget about that. But
big week for or big bootleg brunch collab.
Yeah, I suppose.
Bridgers,
yeah,
it could be argued.
We've kind of claimed
Father John Misty.
Yeah.
Maggie Rogers, no doubt bootleg Heim.
Yep. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That's pretty unbelievable. The Iris cover, I didn't know was promised until it actually came out.
Then you had a different experience with it than the rest of the world.
For sure. Well, was everybody going crazy about it?
A lot of people were going crazy about it, but a lot of it was also like big DJ saying, if we get this many Patreon people, I'll do a Christmas song energy.
And they were like,
yeah,
okay.
We'll do it because you're asking for Patreon stuff. We probably don't. We're not asking for you to do a Christmas song. So it was kind of one of those things. But Phoebe Bridgers was going to do an Iris cover no matter what, and it was going to sound great because it's Phoebe Bridgers. But there was a little bit of that to it of like, all right, now like, yeah, it's like kind of ironic that you would do that, and cool, let's hear it. And it started with her. She posted on an Instagram story in the studio. She was playing Iris, and then she posted later, if Trump loses, I'll do an Iris cover.
So was that promise made during election week? Is that why I missed it?
Maybe it was. I feel like it was a couple days before the election, but
Okay.
it was around there.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense then. But yeah, like when I saw that it was posted and that she like tweeted it out, I rolled my eyes. Definitely rolled my eyes, just being like, it's a really cliche cover, and you know it's like on brand for Phoebe Bridgers, I guess. But like I rolled my eyes like, oh, this is just gonna be like, I know exactly what it's gonna be, and it's just whatever, man. And then I listened to it, and I was like, holy fuck, it's awesome.
Right. It was. I mean, I wasn't crazy. It's a really good arrangement. Wasn't crazy about the verse, but the end of the chorus really got me. They used a fun little trick there with a certain chord, a major 2 chord, and it's a thing that whenever you hear it, you know, like people who don't, like my dad doesn't understand what key changes are.
Same.
You don't?
Nope.
But do you know when you hear it?
Nope.
So my dad's like that too. He's the only person. I'm like, yeah, but you know when you hear it.
Nope.
Because you're like, this is different. So major 2 chord is, if as you're listening, kind of raise your eyebrows a little bit. And you go like, your like whole body is just like, ooh. What is it? That's a little clever thing. It's the most. So they did that trick. It's a very cool thing. Eagles used to do it a bunch. Norah Jones would do it. Anyway, so that was a really cool. It was a cool sounding song and everything. But did we then get into a conversation about like, of course, Phoebe Bridgers would do Iris, and you.
I dropped a bar on you.
Yeah, you dropped a bar on me. I was like, I was like, I don't know what I'll do with it, but this is a lyric. You said, because we, what were we saying? We were talking disparagingly of Phoebe Bridgers, I think.
Yeah, but in like I mean, we both like Phoebe Bridgers.
Right.
It's just we kind of recognize that she plays up.
Oh yeah, like the moves are obvious.
Yeah,
we see the moves coming. And you said,
I'm gonna look it up right now, just so that we get this. Right. Okay. So you said
Walmart or something.
You said I was rolling my eyes the entire time, like leading up to the release. And you were like, "God, I hate you. You're such a Walmart indie artist." And I said, "Yes, shopping for sads in the trending section."
Such a good line.
Yeah.
Shopping for sads in the trending section. So, I don't know. That's kind of that. I hate that we're in a world where.
And I don't want to make it seem like we don't like Phoebe Bridgers, but she is sort of like, you know, the next move.
Yes,
like you said it. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I don't like the word pandering. because if you say that someone's pandering, then you're pandering to people who are like, yeah, that person's pandering. So just like in general, don't do that. But I think the audience is very obvious and easy, and there are certain moves that are always kind of going to resonate. So I don't know.
Like being sad is in now, and like she is. I don't want to say she's like capitalizing on that, but like the people that are like, oh, being sad is in. Who should I go like? Phoebe Bridgers.
Right. Whereas, I mean, real heads know if being sad is in, you go to Father John Misty. Because Father John Misty isn't just saying,
I've heard some more sad than this shit.
Right. Father John Misty isn't just saying, I'm sad. He's actively making you sad. Like,
that is
if being sad is truly in, then go to the sad store because he's really bumming you out.
Right.
So that's kind of that, but it's a good cover.
It's a great cover.
It's a good cover, but it just shows how Phoebe Bridgers is becoming our new Father John Misty, because even if there's like eye-rolling stuff, can't stay away from it.
Yeah, it's really good.
She's got her hooks in us.
That's probably like the most impressive thing you can do is like be very just like not. I don't want to say like predictable, but like we know what Phoebe Bridgers
telegraph
is.
what you're doing,
right?
Yeah.
And so like that is Phoebe Bridgers, and like she's telegraphing what she's doing, and it makes you roll your eyes, and she does it, and you're still like, "Fuck, that's cool."
Right, and that's
very
probably
impressive.
led off our conversation, which is like leading up to it. I don't think I talked to anyone about it, but I was like, I was excited for it and dreading it at the same time for the reasons you outlined. And then when I heard it, I was like, I'm so glad this was made.
Yeah.
This is so good.
Yeah, I wrote about it in the newsletter, like just a couple lines, and I was like, I think like at some point I might be willing and ready to say that this is better than the original.
I don't know. That's an interesting one. I always have a tough time with doing like, is the cover better than the original? But I think there's a lot of cases where that happens. But
I also think that that's like something that people immediately want to jump to,
right?
And like anytime somebody makes a good cover, there's a person immediately like, oh, this is better than the original, and that was kind of me. But I also just think that like this style more lends to what I like.
But this cover, a lot of covers do this, kind of count on you having heard the original.
Oh yeah.
So they can that verse, the way that she changed the melody in the verse. If you didn't know how the melody of that song goes, you'd be like, "This sucks. This is a bad melody." But because your brain kind of knows where the notes go, and she's maybe singing higher inversions of them or different inversions of them, you're not as confused.
It's like holding your hand on the way through.
Exactly. So you having heard the song gives you a good guide for something like that. But I think that if you hadn't heard the, I was going to say Counting Crows version.
Oh, Jesus.
Why can't I think of their name? Goo Goo Dolls. Yeah. If you hadn't heard the Goo Goo Dolls version,
I wish you just dropped Counting Crows
and just didn't.
didn't address it.
Yeah, she covered the Counting Crows. But it's I in general I'm always going to be, unless it's like Donny Hathaway, Jealous Guy, or Nothing Compares to You. Did you know that was a cover? Unless it's something like that, I'm usually like, you got to give the OGs credit where it's due. Mm-hmm. So, but overall good experience. Glad it happened. Can't say the same for the movie that we saw this week.
Oh my God!
Had to do it to him though.
Do we want to do fleets before we do the movie that we saw?
Yes, and I'm going to need your hand and a sharp object because we are signing a blood oath right now. Have you done a fleet yet?
Have never done a fleet. I don't even have fleets.
What does that mean?
I don't have fleets.
It doesn't give you the option?
Yeah, I don't have the option yet.
I
haven't
do.
Seen them
and let me tell you,
up.
I'm taking my option because God is my witness. God is your. We haven't spoken about this yet, but we are not doing fleets ever.
Have
right?
we? Yeah. Have we ever made like a blood oath on the podcast where it's like, hold us? We're very much like don't hold us accountable sort of podcast. Let's put it on record.
Yes.
Let's put blood to the stone. Never fleet.
Yes, never fleet. Please join us.
We have our own fleets.
Well, we just
Flights.
Oh, that's
Flights
right.
with full-size beers. Those are the only fleets that we recognize.
I was also going to say the way they introduced it, they were like, "You ever have a tweet that like, you're not so sure about? Maybe I'm not going to send it."
Yeah, like
well, make it a
90%
fleet.
of my tweets.
Yeah. They're called my tweets.
Yeah, right. And also, it's like the fact that like we're out here acting like, or Twitter's out here acting like tweets are. You send a tweet and you have to hang it on the wall. Like you send a tweet and you forget about it 2 minutes later.
Right. I think that at the end of every day, if you told somebody how many tweets they sent, they would be surprised, right?
Right.
Because
yeah,
it's
and
higher than you think.
And like, how many people remember a tweet 24 hours after they saw it or something like that? Like the fact that they're like, we're rolling out these tweets that expire after 24 hours. It's like, well, a regular tweet expires after 15 minutes.
Right. I'm honestly more motivated, but from the introduction of fleets, I'm more motivated to stop using Twitter than to use it more. Like, this doesn't make me think, oh, this is a cool added feature, which I know that every time a social media platform introduces a new thing, we say,
everybody hates it.
This is stupid, we're not going to do it, and then within an hour, we're all doing it. But you know what? Except for the stupid Carolina Hurricanes, you're not seeing too many of those sound tweet things. Some of them people are like, yo, bad idea, don't want to do it. I want to make it go away. I wish that I couldn't see there's the top bar where everybody's fleets. I don't want to even have that option.
Right, but I think that at least like the sound tweets have like, it's just another like version of a tweet.
Right.
You can just send a sound tweet. Like video tweets didn't exist way back when. Photo tweets, you had to go through like tweet pick or whatever it was back in the day. So they're just like adding these different versions of tweets. But like the fleet idea sucks. Just like, again, tweets don't have shelf life anyway. But also like you look at Instagram did it, Facebook did it. Those ones make sense because like when you post a photo to Instagram, at least for me, you kind of have to like, is this Instagram worthy? Is this photo Instagram worthy? And so like when you have the stories on Instagram, it's basically just like photos that aren't like full post worthy. And they're also like sharing other people's posts. When there's already a fucking button for sharing other people's posts on Twitter. Like I don't understand Twitter's insistence on minimalizing or like downplaying the retweet button. I feel like they're doing that with they already did that where you have to kind of go to the quote tweet screen before like an actual retweet, and now they're offering you the option to kind of like fake retweet on a fleet because you can share another person's post on your fleet. Like why are we trying to like, I feel like retweets are the pillar of Twitter. And for some reason, we're kind of trying to minimize those.
Oh, that everything you just said is right, and it turned my brain to fucking mush. Like, we can't. Twitter is already stupid enough. Like, if you were to explain Twitter to somebody 20 years ago, and then after explaining to them, like the basics, like, okay, so you just write little sentences, you put them out there. I don't know. Sometimes it can be news, sometimes it's jokes. Most of the time, it's people like trying to get mad at somebody.
There's a contest to show that you're the best person on the internet.
And then they're like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. You're like, but you can retweet somebody else, which means that their tweet comes from your account, but they see that it's that person's tweet. And they're like, okay. Or if you make it a fleet, you can make it so their tweet is coming from your story, and your story, they're like, what's any of this?
Right. And like, what's the difference there? It's just, there's no difference. And when you think about like the user experience, I feel like this could be summed up in like this sentence. It's like the user experience of Twitter is based on the retweet, because that is the most, that's like the most, because Twitter is all about immediate satisfaction. Like, what is the term for that? Instant gratification. Twitter is all about instant gratification. and the center of instant gratification is the retweet. And so the fact that they're like pulling away from the retweet in these different forms doesn't make any sense for Twitter.
Oh, God. Stupid.
They're putting internet on the radio.
They really are. Twitter's thing, too, was that it was simple.
Yeah.
It was just you make a sentence.
Yep.
I remember when they told us about it in college, I was like, I don't know if this will catch on, but I appreciate that it's just one little thing. Because I was like, it's one aspect of Facebook. Mm-hmm. It's just, what would they even call it? What was it called when you do a Facebook post?
The
status.
wall? Yeah, Facebook status.
I was like, it's just Facebook statuses. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's cool, I guess, because these statuses are getting more popular and everything. It's all about status. And now, God, where the hell are we? You got to put warnings on half the tweets from the president. Also, while I'm at it, stop doing those fake warning things.
Those stink, man.
I don't like that being a thing. We're living in a world where the president is lying to you, and people have to note, hey, the president's lying to you. So what's our reaction? Callback humor to last week. Meme it.
What was the last meme that you like genuinely enjoyed?
Shit, I actually had a meme that I want to talk about this week. I forgot. Shit, what?
Was it the one that you talked about last week? I don't want to do the work today.
But I'm crazy about that one. I still watch that like once a week. Kind of want to get the people from that play on to have them tell us about the play. Shoot. Whoa. God. This has taken over my life. The fucking prompt Twitter is getting even worse. Now, what's something that isn't this but feels like this? A, fuck prompt Twitter forever. B, fuck NFL injury report Twitter, where people have to write in or out in all caps. Like, we're stupid that we can't just say, hey, Sony Michel is out today.
Yeah.
Got it. Sony Michel is out today. Like, oh, fuck. Sorry.
There should be, do you think like NFL trainers in like the medical room have to just like address a player and be like, you are out today?
I read it every time like Elaine.
Like Elaine?
Yeah, Elaine Bennis.
Yeah.
Sony Michel out.
Okay. The two-handed push.
Yeah. That's one of the greater things that Seinfeld kind of picked up on the fly. That Elaine just says "get out" and pushes people.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that.
Get out. But I hate when people do the all caps for in or out. But the what's something that isn't this but feels like this is a real toughie because it's so insufferable that every time I see one of those, I quote tweet it with Tim Heidecker yelling, shut the fuck up. But we've discussed this off the podcast. That is so abrasive that it's tough to even be on board with saying shut the fuck up to this stupid tweet when the shut the fuck up is probably like 10 times more painful than the actual tweet. Shut the fuck up.
I don't know how he did it, but that is like the most painful thing that I've ever seen done on stage.
Right. And he really built to it.
And I've seen Cats.
Oh my God. So brutal.
We got to read before we get into this movie review.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of
painful.
Read it. NFL football continues on this week, which has a few surprise teams at the top of the standings. And you might not be at a game this year, but guess what? You can still be in on the action at BetOnline. That's betonline.ag. No matter how the schedules change or how the players that play or don't play, if they're in or out. BetOnline is going to go the extra mile to make sure that you can get in on every game this season with the fastest updated odds in the industry. There are always more options to wager than anywhere else online. So head to betonline.ag today and take advantage of all the great mid-season bonuses, offers, and contests. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts at betonline.ag. Okay,
so the worst... you can't say the worst part of today or the times in which we live because There's way too much competition.
I'm very fucking confident. Even with everything going on in 2020, I'm very confident in saying that watching Friendsgiving was the worst part of my day. And it is like 1:30 in the afternoon right now.
Definitely. I was going to say one of the bad aspects of the times in which we live is there aren't as many movies in theaters. Therefore, they're just not releasing as many movies. So when you have a random night where you're like, I'm just going to watch a recent movie that I haven't seen before, which is a fun thing to do because it's usually a pretty bad movie that you missed in theaters. So you're like, cool, I'll check it out. There aren't enough movies coming out that even we can do that now. Like, we haven't gone to see movies in forever, and there still aren't movies that we haven't seen.
We are gobbling up the shit as it comes out, basically.
It's brutal. So I was flipping through trying to find any movie, and there was one of the new releases was a movie called Friendsgiving, which worst term in the world.
I was gonna say, if you know DJ,
makes me so mad. It just doesn't make sense. It's like when people call any scandal something gate.
Yeah,
that's not how. That's not the suffix. You fucking idiot. So when you get together with friends and do a Thanksgiving style thing, you can call it Friends Thanksgiving, but you're not giving friends, which is what Thanksgiving is. You're giving thanks.
Yep.
Stupidest thing in the world. So, but you should know that. I've never... Actually, that's not true. Sometimes I'll tweet an anti-Friendsgiving thing, and people will be like, you gotta let this one go, man. Take the L. It's the best. And I'm like, don't know whether you're talking
W
about...
of your life.
Right. Don't know whether you're talking about
you don't get many dubs, but...
or saying it, but either way... like having a Friends Thanksgiving thing...
is cool.
Is fine. The only issue is somebody there will call it Friendsgiving and ruin your day. But I don't know. Maybe then it's a more of a you problem. But there's a movie called Friendsgiving. So many damn people on the poster. Saw Malin Akerman on there. Mm-hmm. Saw Kat Dennings. Saw Chelsea Peretti. I was like, this sucks. We definitely have to watch this. And you've hinted at it. We've both tweeted it. That movie sucks so much.
It's so bad.
It's brutal.
If you listen to this podcast, you know we love bad movies.
We hunt them.
We love bad movies. And we knew that this one was probably going to be bad. I mean, it came out in 2020, in I think the latter half of 2020. Any movie that comes out in the latter half of 2020 and isn't pushed back, probably not going to be the best movie. They're just like, let's just get this one out of here.
Quick question. Do you think, and I was wondering this, do you think had there not been the crazy times in which we live, that this movie would have been in theaters?
No, probably not. This definitely screams direct to video on demand.
This is the layover quality.
Yeah.
Where, maybe you could find a theater, if you bring it yourself, maybe they'll, if there's an empty theater, they'll pop it in for you.
Yeah, this one screams like you just found it on Netflix and you're like, this came out in 2020?
This come out?
Yeah. This movie could have easily come out at any point in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
There's maybe a reference to something here and there where it's okay, they're made a modern reference sort of, but the humor is all extremely outdated. The jokes and tropes that they play up are so bad, and they were maybe funny 15 years ago.
And honestly, it would make more sense if it came out something 20 years ago, because the movie is not about what one would call a Friendsgiving.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just a Thanksgiving movie.
It's a Thanksgiving movie in which people who aren't friends just show up.
Right, a bunch of people get together. So the biggest issue with this movie, wrote this down, let's see. Who are these people? This is all caps. Who are these people? What do they do? How do they know each other? How do they get it? There's no information given. At one point, a delivery guy notices Malin Akerman's character and says, hey, I loved you in this movie, to say that, okay, she's an actress. Yeah. But they don't go into who are these people? Why are they here? What are they doing?
Yeah, I'm not a big, the writing wasn't very good kind of guy.
The writing was awful.
The writing was fucking awful. They didn't establish any of the characters. They didn't really even establish the two main characters, Malin Akerman and Kat Dennings are clearly the two main characters of the movie, and they established this right off the bat. They didn't explain anything about them. They just explained that they were kind of sad and didn't have Thanksgiving plans, and that was it. Like, they were both talking about a breakup at the beginning, and I thought, well, they established that Kat Denning was a lesbian. I thought at the beginning that Kat Denning's character and Malin Akerman's character were exes.
Had broken up with each other.
Yeah, they said in the beginning, they were like, we broke up. One of the characters said, we broke up, like, while talking to the other one, and it wasn't established that they were talking about somebody else.
Yeah.
The writing is so bad. I was so confused for basically this entire movie.
So you know what the issue is? They did a reverse snowman. They didn't start the movie. They forgot to start the movie. So you're just there, and there are these characters. Right. The only thing they really want to establish is that you know Kat Denning's character is gay, which I was watching that and I was like, nice fucking try. Because, as usual with Kat Dennings, give Kat Dennings a different role challenge should always be in effect. And they were like, hey, here's Kat Dennings. She's drinking wine in the grocery store. Ooh, she's making fun of all the dudes there. And I was like, excuse me, give
like
Kat
a hint
Dennings
of
a different
sad.
role,
Yeah.
please. And they're like, no, it's cool. This time she's gay. And I'm like,
I think she
it's still you're still giving her the same character.
She's still the same character. Yeah.
It's like saying like, oh no, she always plays someone named Rebecca. This character is named Pearl. Totally different.
I think she even says at one point in this movie, she's like, I'm broke.
She does say she's broken a lot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, two broke girls. Yeah, exactly. Nailed it.
Where are the other two
and the
broken
other
girls?
and the other
King?
one's blonde.
Yeah.
What the hell is we doing?
We should say that. We should start saying, where are the other two broken girls? Just for whatever reason, say broken instead of broke girls.
Now that I think about it, this movie is Two Broke Girls Thanksgiving.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know much about Two Broke Girls, but that movie was about...
I know more about Two Broke Girls than I know about the movie I just watched. So, loaded cast, Malin Akerman, Kat Dennings, Aisha Tyler, Jane Seymour. Shout out Jane. She got the and in this movie.
Oh, did she?
Or with, maybe.
She also got give Jane Seymour a different character challenge because she just played horny mom.
Cougar, yeah. Horny mom.
Can't even call her a cougar because she was trying to fuck everything, any age in that movie.
Right. Chelsea Peretti, Christine Taylor. So loaded cast. We got Wanda Sykes for a scene, a very quick scene, bad scene.
We got
scenes are bad.
The redheaded friend from what's his name?
Dave Andrew
yeah.
Santino. And I'll tell you what, that was the first bright spot of the movie.
Same
he came
dude.
in, just dumped a bucket of douche on the whole movie, and was like, "Thank you."
And like for him, it sort of like made sense. It was like, oh, it would make sense that he's in this movie because like he's trying to get his checks,
yeah,
and he's trying to make a name for himself. And like he showed up, and I was like, maybe he might save this movie.
I was thinking about that as I was watching it because we're gonna get to actors in this movie that deserved better, that maybe shouldn't have done this movie. But the whole time I was like, hey, just buddy, Red, whatever your name is, do a good job in this. Like, this is the type of movie this is the stepping stone you should be doing right now. Like
this
it's
isn't
not
a good
great
movie, but you could do a good job.
Exactly. And if people come away from it being like, that guy was good, then you're getting another job. And I felt that way about him. I thought that he did a great job. My favorite scene was his first scene. Comes in being a total douche, and then Malin Akerman, who plays a recently divorced person, is hooking up with bootleg Brett McKenzie, and bootleg Brett McKenzie comes in when these people arrive for Thanksgiving. Which again, don't know who these people are, don't know why they're there. He's talking really douchey, saying a bunch of dumb stuff, and he says, "My name's Rick," and bootleg Brett McKenzie says, "Is that short for Richard?" And for whatever reason, with a straight face, the guy from Dave says, "No, it's just Rick. Richard is a completely different name, you goof."
Don't know how they do it over there
Right.
across the pond because he's English.
Because
but like
bootleg Brett McKenzie is English.
By the way, bootleg Brett McKenzie is Malin Akerman's real life husband.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So neither of them were like, "Hey, let's not do this."
You're right. At that, like maybe consider a divorce because like you need one partner who's going to tell you not to do dumb shit, and you're both telling each other to do the bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know what the household made on that movie, but
wasn't enough.
Did you think that this guy was bootleg Brett McKenzie? Because he immediately distracted me.
No, I don't even know who Brett McKenzie is.
Oh, he's one half of Flight of the Conchords. He wrote the music for
I only know
Muppets.
what the one guy looks like.
Jermaine Clement.
Yes,
so you
that
know
guy.
the tall guy.
Yeah, the one with I would say like the square face with the glasses.
Yeah. Then there's his partner is a shorter guy. You never watched Flight of the Conchords, huh?
No.
I don't think you'd like it. To be
Probably
honest.
not.
It's
Not a big music guy.
It's extremely weird. It's like intentionally awkward and a lot of music.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe.
Maybe not my cup of tea. Sounds like your thing, though.
Oh my god, I was crazy about it. I couldn't when it came out. I was like, I can't believe this is on TV. There's hope for the world. Let me see. Bootleg Brett McKenzie doesn't wear his shirt for a lot of this movie.
The entire movie,
and there's no reason for it.
Yeah, there's no reason at all. Like his character is. They established kind of at the beginning, like his character is like a free spirit, but like he's not a fucking idiot at the beginning. He's just a nice
They don't make
guy.
him seem stupid.
He's like, I would like to impress your friends. Like he seems like he has his shit together, like personally and emotionally and things like that. There's no reason for that guy to go around shirtless at like a Thanksgiving at somebody he just started dating.
There is a scene early in the movie where Malin Akerman goes to the door to get Kat Dennings, and he walks in naked.
Yep.
And because he doesn't know that Kat Dennings is there, he walks in naked, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know someone was here," and then continues to stand there naked with his hand over his penis. That was where I'm like, I can't tell. Like, movie is so bad so far. I can't tell if like the joke is who would stand there and keep talking, or like this is the stupid world that we live in.
Also, like the writing is so bad that they couldn't even get their story straight on this guy's dick, because in that scene, Kat Dennings is like, she calls his dick real. He calls his dick like little. He's like little. What's his name?
Richard.
Little
Yeah.
Richard.
Yeah.
And then she says like, "Don't worry, I got one just like it in my top drawer, except it's a lot bigger." And then like later in the movie, she says like, "Oh, he's got like a huge dick or something." She makes a joke about him having like a big wiener.
I mean, the Little Richard thing could just be she's
Was
shouting
his
out
name
Little
even
Richard.
Richard?
Oh,
I
Rick.
think the other guy's name.
Oh
was
no,
Rick.
right. And if she had said Little Richard, I think I would have picked up on that.
Yeah.
And then probably hit pause and listened to Little Richard.
This guy's name is
instead of
Jeff. Little Jeff.
Little Jeff. Yeah, I think that calling it Little was just like
Because it's like
the
smaller than
version
him,
of this person. But either way, it was so stupid. He kept taking his shirt off, and Aisha Tyler
taking his shirt off. He just had his shirt off the entire movie.
Yeah, he's wearing it at the beginning of the Thanksgiving, and then he wants to make ceviche, and he takes his shirt off because he doesn't want to get lemon on his shirt. Which, does lemon stain?
I don't know.
Yeah, really.
It's got some acid in it. It might stain.
Let's see. Let's run down these notes. There's a guy in it that I was like, who is this guy? I hate his character. He's such a douchebag. And I was scrolling through his IMDb credits, and I was like, what the hell is he in? He's in Stupid Party Down.
I've never seen that. Are you talking about the Ryan Hansen guy?
Yeah.
That guy just screams commercial actor.
Right.
They throw him in the movie, and he's supposed to be like an actor, or like a big time actor who's with opposite of Malin Akerman's character in something. And I was like, there's no way that this guy's getting jobs outside of commercials and movies that are as shitty as this one.
Right. Like, he looks like somebody that they think can passably play a successful actor.
So he is, you know who he is? He is like the bootleg version of the guy. Do you remember from Bad Moms Christmas, and the guy who is in that show, the sad porn show, This Is Us?
Oh, wait, not the guy from Sex and the City.
No.
Is okay.
No, the guy who's in This Is Us, the brother, like the one of the brothers in This Is Us. I don't know that guy's name because he's not important, and this guy is an even less important version of that guy.
All right, shout out that guy. We'll be getting him on the pod. I do want to get what's his face on the pod. The what does I say his name is?
Redhead?
Yeah, David Andrew Santino. Would like to get him on, see what he's about.
That guy's hilarious.
He was very funny in this. Yeah, I don't. I'm looking through This Is Us IMDb, but God, I just don't care about that show.
He's like one of the main characters in that show. He's one of the family members. His name is Justin Hartley.
Okay. Chelsea Peretti plays Shaman in this movie, and there was a part where I was like, "Ooh, she's gonna be funny here."
No,
and like
never.
She couldn't save it.
No, like and
there were so many edits in. So there was a scene where like she was supposed to have this little confrontation with Kat Dennings, and there were so many fucking edits in it that I couldn't pay attention to what she was saying.
I didn't notice, but like I stopped paying attention like halfway through this movie because it went nowhere. It went nowhere. Like the Thanksgiving part of it didn't start until like 60 minutes into it, and it's a 90-minute movie, and they just kept introducing characters that I didn't care about. The dialogue was just completely nonsensical. Like, just there was no movement of the plot whatsoever.
Right. I felt like we didn't do a good job of actually setting up what we're talking about, but that's because
the movie
of this movie
didn't set up anything.
So it's this actress is hosting Thanksgiving, and a bunch of people show up to it. It was supposed to be just her friend, but a bunch of people end up being there, including what's Aisha Tyler's relation to?
They're just friends.
They're one of their friends.
Yeah.
So one of their friends shows up and brings her family and her kids, and then this actor shows up, and her mom shows up, and there's all these different people there, and there's a baby. And they, some of them start doing shrooms. It's just so, all these things are happening, and I'm like, what am I supposed to be following here?
Yeah, once they introduced the shrooms, that's when I was like really out, because I was like, oh, they're just gonna do some fucking basic ass drug humor where like one of them takes shrooms and they start seeing shit.
Why is she acting so well? Oh,
Yeah.
these people don't know if she's on shrooms.
Yeah.
They don't care. Hey, why is this person behaving like
It's
this? That's not how you normally behave, babe.
Worst, dude. And like everything that you could see in this movie, you've seen somewhere else do it better, 1,000 times better.
Definitely. And like, you know who the person's talking to and why they're talking to each other.
Yes.
Basic things like that.
I want to check out some of the reviews here.
Oh, good call.
So we have there's critic reviews for Friendsgiving on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see. This one is we got a couple. I have no idea how you could ever give this a non-Rotten Tomato. I don't know what it's like, the ripe tomato, I guess. The ensemble cast carries the film at every turn. These delightful performances prevent the film's antics from being dizzying and overwrought. They sure don't.
What?
Unbelievable. It's a good-natured film with lots of sharp edges and an ensemble cast that's gifted at combining black comedy and warm drama, but its attempts to add thematic depth are somewhat shaky. While some of the characters on the ever-escalating guest list provide welcome comic distraction, this day-to-night hangout pick doesn't really take flight.
I would say so. I'd say that one's a little better.
Wow, this one's pretty good. Friendsgiving is the Boston Market version of Holiday Cheers.
Boston Market version?
Yeah. I think that's giving it too much credit.
Man, people are doing a lot of Boston Market humor of late. I won't get into it, but
swings hard and aims low in this vulgar comedy about mostly self-absorbed people at Thanksgiving dinner. I think
that's a good way of
pretty
putting
fair.
it.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting
Swings hard and aims low is a very apt description of this movie.
I'm going to start using that. I might make that my Twitter bio.
Swings hard, aims low.
Swings hard, aims low. I don't know if that's necessarily right, but
let's rank the characters who deserved better, because this does have a good cast.
It does have a good cast.
Not like a good cast, but a cast of noticeable and recognizable actors.
Right.
Which is way more than this movie deserves.
Right. So then I'll lead it off with the person who deserved better. Number one, by far, Christine Taylor.
Yep, absolutely.
Because I did not know it was Christine Taylor until at the end of the movie. I saw in the beginning that Christine Taylor was in, but I wasn't thinking during the movie.
This was her. Yeah.
I was so distracted by like what is this movie that I wasn't like, hey, I haven't seen Christine Taylor yet. At the end, they were showing outtakes, and Christine Taylor was there, and I was like, that was Christine Taylor.
Yeah,
Holy
so
shit.
I saw her, and I was like, that looks like her, but I don't know if it is her. But they just don't let her do anything in this movie. She's just recently got Botox, so she can't talk throughout the entire movie, which, again, hilarious maybe in 2002. Maybe. You're right. Christine Taylor absolutely deserved way better than this movie. I mean, Christine Taylor starred in one of the funniest comedies of this entire generation.
Dodgeball, you think? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I give that. I mean, Christine
a little
Taylor,
bit of maybe what's the whole like you got this job because your family?
Favoritism or nepotism?
Nepotism, yeah. Yeah. Maybe that might be why.
But I'll tell you
she
what,
was great in it.
No one I'd rather want in that movie.
Right.
I love Christine Taylor.
She absolutely deserved better.
Yeah. Kat Dennings. I think you at some point, and this is probably tough because I'm sure that Kat Dennings would be like, yeah, I'd like to fucking play a different character for once, but these are the jobs I get, you know?
Yeah, I don't know though because I don't know if I enjoy Kat Dennings, honestly.
Oh, I don't because she keeps
but
playing
like she
the
hasn't
same character.
she hasn't proved that she deserves any better.
Then
like she can't even make her shitty roles enjoyable.
Yeah,
not for me.
That's fair.
So like I will say, Malin Akerman is my number 2 because like I do enjoy some Malin Akerman, and she wasn't bad in this movie. Like her character was like, I guess like the straight person. And
I don't. Maybe because at one point she points out like
only because every other character was fucking so ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good. I don't know if there was Aisha Taylor's husband.
Yeah, Dion Cole, I think was.
Yeah.
He was probably the straightest of all the people there, but like he was in the movie for 2 minutes,
or one of the children or something.
Right? Yeah. So my number 2, Malin Akerman. 3 for me, probably Jane Seymour, because again, Jane Seymour.
But that's just what Jane Seymour does now. I feel like, and obviously she did it on a much grander scale in Wedding Crashers. So you're like,
yeah, this was just
she
bootleg
deserves
Wedding
better
Crashers
because she
character.
did this higher thing, but also like that's the last thing she's done in forever. So they're like, hey,
she did those K. Jewelers commercials where she did the dueling hearts or whatever it was. Pretty good at that.
It's kind of honestly, Jane Seymour kind of got Jerry Stillard. Where she's they were like, "Hey, do you want to come do Frank Costanza in this role for us?"
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I mean, again, if she's gonna do that, she should be doing it because she's great at it. Mm-hmm. She should be doing it in a better role. She deserved better than this.
The Malin Akerman thing always kind of surprised me. She's obviously a big star, but she seemed like she was going to become the actress, right? The actor.
Yeah.
I don't know if people still say actress. If they don't, then actor. Anyway, she seemed like she was going to be this big star, and then she kind of plateaued relatively low on that incline.
Yeah, but even that, like, she should be like the 3rd, 4th actor in a good movie.
Right.
Not leading shit.
Right.
Like, I think that I would rather, I mean, I can't speak for somebody else's career, but like, I think that I would rather be a 3rd or 4th actor, supporting actor in a good movie than be leading actor in an absolute piece of shit direct-to-video on demand movie.
Right, especially because if you are the lead in something that sucks,
you kind of have to claim it.
It's only natural people are going to put that on you.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're the quarterback for a bad team, then people are going to be like, yo, you suck at quarterback, you know?
Yeah.
So I understand that.
I think Wanda Sykes has got to be next on the list because, like, Wanda Sykes, star. Wanda Sykes is a star.
Yeah.
And she's still doing shit, and she's in one scene, and it was like a drug scene. It was like the mushroom scene where she's just envisioning shit. Her character serves no purpose.
It felt more like a cameo, but she was kind of listed early in the credits, so I thought that Wanda Sykes was going to be one of the friends or something, and she was just a hallucination.
Yeah, it was late in the movie to the point where like they build Wanda Sykes. When does Wanda Sykes come in? And she came in for one scene, and it was a useless scene.
Yeah. Who else do you think? I mean, because you've gotten to everybody on my list.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea Peretti is an interesting one because like I really want to like Chelsea Peretti and like I enjoy her.
Yeah.
But she's never really done anything that I've been like,
oh, you're gonna give her the Pete Davidson.
Yeah, I think that she is like in that category where it's like I like you, but I don't really know why.
See, I can't agree with that because her stand-up's good.
So I haven't seen her stand up, so I'll plead ignorance there.
Yeah.
But like she definitely sort of falls into the Pete Davidson thing where it's like
everyone knows who she is.
Everyone knows who you are, and like people like you,
and
and I like you. Like I like your presence.
Yeah.
And like you're married to Jordan Peele, who is like a tastemaker, so like there has to be a lot going on there.
So if he likes you,
right? Exactly.
I'd be a fucking idiot. Not to.
Right. That's basically how I feel, and like that's how I felt about Pete Davidson too. It's like, well,
well, it's true with Pete Davidson. You're like, buddy, love you. You got to do something good at some point, though.
Right? Yeah. And like Cassie David likes you, and Cassie David's amazing, and I love Cassie David. So like, there's got to be something there that everybody's loving.
Should we read the Cassie David book? People
I want
were really
to.
mean about it, so I
Really?
want to buy it just because people. Yeah, people were like, "Oh, we only know who you are because of your dad, and you're a rich white girl." Blah
Welcome
blah.
to like half the people in Hollywood.
And I don't know. I'll tell you what. People are having a hard time correctly getting the how to feel about rich white girls thing.
Yeah.
Like way too. They're like way too easy on Taylor Swift. And then go like super hard against Cassie David.
And like in the like you're only famous because of your dad. And let me tell you something. If there is one person's child that I do want to kind of like investigate, it's what Larry David's kids turned out to be like.
Right. And it's like, yo, it's Cassie David or it's Chet Hayes. What do you want?
Right.
Which shout out Chet Hayes. We were talking about this earlier. Finally, it's been kind of understood that his whole Jamaican thing was not mean-spirited, totally out of love, and a real knowledge and appreciation for that culture. So while initially startling...
Chet Hayes and Adele, one and the same.
Right. Well, so while initially startling, I think people like understand, okay, like, this is coming from a good place. So he did another one of his famous videos after Donald Trump lost, and right when everyone was like, okay, you're not offensive, it's okay, he throws a capital P in there, which is a word that I think like we've all kind of started to get away from. So I can't help but think he's like, okay.
I thought that we were getting away from
anymore?
that word, but I'll tell you, I've been playing a lot of video games lately. People are not getting away from that word as much as I thought.
The toxic video game community.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I've said to people like, hey, like whenever I've done any like video game stuff, people have been like really nice in the chat.
Oh yeah,
and,
I mean like they are
super supportive, and people are like, yeah, maybe you're
get a little
seeing
deeper.
One side of it. Yeah, you're just kind of seeing surface level stuff. It's where like anything, any community online, people are like, let's be dicks now, right? Okay, let's do it. So yeah, be nicer to Cassie David, I guess. Yeah, I'll read that just to kind of push back against people who are so mean to her.
I mean, I read a book about a guy who went to Martha's Vineyard and just kept running into Larry David, and it was like the best thing that I've read. So I'm for sure going to read a book about a person who grew up in Larry David's household.
Right. If I'm in a restaurant and they're like, hey, Larry David was here once and he ordered this.
Like,
didn't tell us what he thought about it. I'd be like, I'm getting that.
Yeah.
And it's fucking Larry David. Yeah. Don't hate everybody. Did you watch any of A Teacher?
I did not, but like, I'll tell you, the advertising campaign for that show hooked me like no other because I wanted to know everything about it. I know that it came out on November 10th because it kept saying streaming November 10th, and I was like, you know what I'm going to do on November 10th? I'm going to watch that show. And it was, I haven't done it yet, but I'm planning on doing it. But the closer and closer that I like get to actually doing it, I get nervous and uncomfortable because it is from the looks of it. I don't want to say that it like looks like it's like celebrating this relationship, but like it's definitely not being like, yo, this isn't okay.
So I've seen 3 episodes, and I will say, if you're nervous and uncomfortable thinking about watching it, you might as well watch it because you're nervous and uncomfortable the whole time you're watching it too. So you're
Great.
going to be feeling this no matter what. If if thinking about it makes you nervous and uncomfortable, watching it makes you feel nervous and uncomfortable. It's really good though.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Kate Mara.
Yeah, she's great.
She is very, very great.
And shout out, what's his kid's name? Nick Robinson?
Yes. Or Robertson.
Yeah, we got Bounce Back Robertson, because wasn't a big fan of Love, Simon.
Didn't love Robertson is what I like to call that movie.
Yeah. That movie was like one of the worst high school movies we've seen. And we've had to see a bunch of those, unfortunately. But I just hated the whole vibe of like, look, I'm an everyday kid. I
get
coffee.
Starbucks.
Yeah, I drink too much coffee. And when the Bleachers song is on, I'm like, this is my jam. Like, oh, if kids do talk this way, kids suck. I'm going to pretend kids don't talk this way and that this movie just fucked up. Because
yeah, I'm gonna pretend that high school is like Euphoria, which is like way more fucked up, but way more enjoyable than like this basic ass branding of high school kids.
Right. If the movie was like, hey, I'm your everyday kid. I can't tell if I like my parents. Like all of a sudden you're like, okay, cool. Let's proceed. Shout out my parents. Yeah, he's good in it. Kate Mara is good in it, and it definitely isn't like, it doesn't paint her as like this is some pedophile who's coming to school looking for the D.
Yeah.
It actually, and you know as you're watching it, like, oh, bad decision. This is all
So
slippery slope.
they make them like humans. They have like the characters have depth and stuff.
I mean, unfortunately, it's something that happens.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that in my mind, when I hear stuff like that happens, I assume the first thing, which is someone who is not well, is
Like preying on.
right.
Yeah.
You know, which is why, I mean, when people do, shout out Jerry Thornton, but he would rank.
It's uncomfortable.
Right. Whenever a teacher got busted for that,
Yeah.
he would like rank them
Yeah.
on hotness and stuff, and like,
And like the
that's
like
a
the
pedophile.
Yeah, right. And like the worst of like the worst their decisions they made, like the higher grade he gave like intangibles.
Oh yeah, so stuff, and that's not just calling out Jerry. Like there is
It's
there is like a
uncomfortable.
culture of like, ooh, they did a South Park episode on this. They find out one of the teachers is banging Ike, and they bring in Ike, and they're like, hey, he's having sex with his teacher, and they're like, Mrs. So and so, and they're like, yeah, and all the cops are like,
Hell
nice.
yeah. Yeah.
And every time it comes up, they're like, we gotta go arrest this thing. She's banging kids. Like, wait, her? Yeah. Nice. And they all, every time they...
I know
Nice.
it's like a really like weird place to be because like at the end of the day they are fucking pedophiles, and also it's just like, but there is just like an inherent interest in like how the fuck that happens.
Right. And director, writer, creator, Hannah, I hope I don't get her last name wrong, Fidel, she's been on Time Crisis a bunch because she is Jake Longstreth's wife. So the most recent Time Crisis had her and Nick Robertson, and he seemed like a very charismatic young man. So I was like, you know what? Maybe Just Love, Simon was a bad movie, and this kid's kind of cool. But yeah, she does a very good job of... It's supposed to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it does make you uncomfortable. Where
Does it like romanticize the relationship?
No.
Okay. That's
No.
my biggest
But
concern.
it establishes that
like how it happens.
for whatever reason, he wants her, she wants him, and through bad decisions, obviously mostly on her part,
Right.
this ends up happening. But there's, not to spoil it too badly, but you see scenes in the beginning and you're like, so this leads to them having sex, right? And it doesn't. And you're just, because you go in again with the...
Like, you know this
thinking
happens.
as lowly of her character as
Yeah.
you can, because you know what she ends up doing, that you're like, oh, she's gonna bang him after this. No, she just teaches a class. Then it's like, oh, they're at a tutoring thing. She's gonna bang him at tutoring. No, she just tutors him. But just like, again, bad decisions made along the way, relationship forming.
Yeah.
It's an extremely uncomfortable watch, and I'm going to inhale it.
Of course you are. The most interesting part to me about this is that it was a movie by the same person, the same writer director did a
Yes.
movie about this same story, and it wasn't received well. It wasn't received well. So I don't know how that happens. I don't know how like
Where they're like,
network
we didn't
sees-
love the movie, but we think this is maybe just that. They're like, we didn't love this as a movie. It was maybe it would have been better as a TV show, or
Like,
like this
expand
works
on
as a
this.
series. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess. But
because
like,
I watched the movie.
did you?
And the movie doesn't tell. It just starts with it's more a teacher is banging a student, and they don't tell you how it happened, how it started, or whatever. And the movie is basically the teacher unraveling leading up to when she gets caught. Whereas this is more like how it happens.
Okay, that's fair, I guess. Like I would say like Black Mass. Remember when we saw Black Mass? I was
Yeah.
like, this would have been way better as
like a
series.
mini series.
Like,
yeah,
you need to tell this. You need more time to tell this story.
yeah. But I'm enjoying it. I know enjoying is wrong way of saying.
I mean, you can
It's
enjoy
good.
the art,
Right,
Yes.
right. It's good. I would recommend it. Got to wrap on this. Apologize. I didn't make the 2.5 Men open thing. So listeners have just heard that same. It's not like a boring open or whatever, but we'll spruce it up. It's coming.